Assaji's short verse. A few words opened Sariputta's heart. One morning in Rajagaha, the streets slowly awakened beneath the soft light of dawn. Among the people walked a monk carrying an alms bowl. His name was Assaji. He was one of the first monks to follow the Buddha. Assaji did not call attention to himself. His steps were calm, his eyes were lowered, and his movements were careful and restrained. When food was offered, he received it without excitement. When nothing was given, he moved on without disappointment. His quiet conduct revealed a mind being trained in awareness. A wanderer named Sariputta saw him from a distance. At that time, Sariputta had not yet become a disciple of the Buddha. He had spent many years searching for the truth. He had listened to teachers, considered difficult questions, and practiced with discipline. Yet one question remained open within him. Where does suffering begin, and how can it truly end? Sariputta did not know Assaji's name or the teacher he followed. But something in the monk's presence made him stop. Before hearing a single word, he sensed that Assaji had found a path worth knowing. The calmness did not appear forced. It seemed to rise naturally from a mind that had found a clear direction. Sariputta thought, if there are awakened disciples in this world, this monk may be one of them. I should ask who his teacher is and what teaching he follows. But Assaji was still on his alms round. Sariputta did not interrupt him. He understood that even a sincere question should be asked at the proper time. So he followed at a respectful distance and waited. When Assaji had finished collecting food, Sariputta approached him and greeted him politely. Friend, your face is clear, and your conduct is peaceful. Under whom have you gone forth? Who is your teacher? Whose teaching do you follow? Assaji answered simply, Friend, there is a great contemplative who went forth from the Sakyan people. I went forth under that blessed one. He is my teacher, and I follow his Dharma. Sariputta asked, What does your teacher teach? Could you explain the heart of his message to me? Assaji did not try to impress him. He spoke honestly about where he stood. Friend, I am new to this Dharma and discipline. I have not been ordained for long. I cannot explain the teaching in great detail. But I can tell you its meaning in brief. Assaji neither claimed more than he knew nor hid what he could honestly share. Sariputta did not demand a long sermon. He had already heard many words. What he needed was a true direction. He replied, Speak a little or a lot. Please tell me only the essential meaning. The meaning is what I seek. What use would many words be without it? Assaji then offered a short verse. Whatever phenomena arise from a cause, the Tathagata has explained their cause. He has also explained their cessation. This is the teaching of the great contemplative. The verse was brief. It did not explain every step of practice or answer every question about the world. Yet within those few words, Sariputta heard the shape of the path he had been seeking. Things do not appear without conditions. They arise because supporting causes are present. Suffering also has causes. It is not an unchanging punishment placed upon us forever. It grows through ignorance, craving, clinging, and the habits that continue to feed them. If suffering arises through causes, then its ending is also possible. When its causes are understood and no longer supported, suffering can cease. As Sariputta listened, the eye of Dharma opened within him. He understood. Whatever is subject to arising is also subject to cessation. This was not a dark conclusion that nothing matters because everything disappears. It was a liberating understanding. What arises through conditions is not fixed forever. Because suffering is conditioned, it does not have to remain unchanged. Because anger is fed, it can also be left unfed. Because craving is strengthened, it can also be weakened. Because fear is supported by thoughts and habits, those conditions can be seen. Sariputta did not receive a complete map of the path that morning. But he saw clearly where the path began. Instead of fighting only the painful result, he needed to understand what produced and sustained it. Instead of saying, this suffering is simply who I am, he could ask what conditions allowed it to arise. The short verse showed him that wisdom begins by looking at causes. It also showed him that freedom becomes possible through cessation. Assaji's words were short, but they were not shallow. A seed is small, yet it can hold the form of a great tree. A lamp may be small, yet it can reveal a path in darkness. In the same way, one clear teaching can contain the direction of an entire life. The power of the verse did not come from its length. It came from the truth it pointed toward. It also came from the readiness of the person who heard it. Sariputta had searched for many years. He had not hidden uncertainty behind pride. He had not pretended to be satisfied with answers that did not reach the heart of suffering. Because he remained honest, he was ready to recognize the path when it appeared. We often believe that change will come only after we receive more information. We collect teachings, explanations, books, and advice. Yet the problem may not always be a lack of words. Sometimes we have already heard what we need, but we have not looked at it deeply. The teaching of cause and cessation asks us to look honestly. What is keeping this suffering alive? What thought is being repeated? What desire is being treated as a command? What fear is being strengthened by imagination? What habit is adding fuel to the fire? To see a cause is not to blame ourselves for everything. The Dharma does not ask us to deny real pain or pretend that every condition is under our control. It asks us to see where a wise response is still possible. We may not control everything that happens, but we can learn not to create more suffering through hatred and blind reaction. We can recognize what must be accepted, what can be changed, and what should no longer be fed. Cessation does not mean becoming cold or empty. It does not mean destroying every feeling. It means allowing the fuel of suffering to come to an end. Pain may be present without becoming hatred. Sadness may move through the heart without becoming a permanent identity. Joy may be received without being held in fear. A feeling can arise, remain for a time, and pass without controlling every word and action. Assaji did not command Sariputta to believe him. He simply pointed toward causes and their ending. The work of observing remained with Sariputta. A true teaching does not make a person dependent on words alone. It invites direct examination. The Dharma can be heard from another person, but it must be examined within one's own experience. Sariputta did exactly that. Assaji's conduct opened the conversation. The meaning of the teaching opened Sariputta's heart. He saw that the words matched the structure of lived experience. This was not borrowed faith. It was the beginning of seeing for himself. Assaji's honesty is also part of the teaching. When asked about the Dharma, he could have tried to sound important. But he said, "I am new. I cannot explain everything." He showed that not knowing everything is not a failure. Pretending to know is the greater danger. Honesty protects both the speaker and the listener. It prevents pride from covering the teaching. It allows a person to share what is known without inventing what is not known. Assaji did not remain silent simply because his understanding was incomplete. He gave what he could give. He offered the essential meaning carefully and without decoration. Knowing a sentence is not the same as seeing its truth. Everything changes is familiar. Releasing the demand that something must not change is difficult. Suffering has a cause sounds simple. Watching that cause arise in thought, feeling, and action requires careful practice. A short teaching becomes living Dharma only when we test it in life. The verse did not finish Sariputta's journey. It opened the door. He did not believe that one moment of insight meant there was nothing more to learn. He wanted to meet the Buddha and train more deeply. A clear beginning should make us humble, not careless. One moment of clarity can change the direction of life. But direction must be followed by practice. Sariputta also remembered his friend Moggallana. They had promised that whoever discovered the deathless path first would tell the other. So the light received from Assaji did not remain in one heart. Sariputta carried the verse to his friend. Moggallana listened and saw the same truth. A quiet monk's conduct led to a question. An honest answer led to a verse. The verse opened one mind. That mind carried it to another. We cannot know how far one sincere action may travel. A patient response may stop anger from passing into another home. A truthful apology may break a pattern that has lasted for years. A calm presence may show someone that another way of living is possible. A few words spoken without pride may become a turning point in another person's life. Assaji's verse carried power because his conduct did not contradict it. His calm steps, restrained gaze, honest answer, and simple teaching all pointed in the same direction. Before teaching with words, he taught through the way he walked. We do not need to transform everything at once. Assaji did not explain the whole path in one meeting. He showed its direction. We can begin by choosing one form of suffering that often returns. We can observe what awakens it, what strengthens it, and what allows it to settle. We may discover that lack of sleep feeds irritation. We may see that repeated comparison feeds shame. We may notice that silence around an old wound feeds loneliness. Then we can change one condition with care. We can rest before speaking. We can leave a place that encourages harmful comparison. We can ask a trusted person for help. We can stop repeating one thought that keeps the fire alive. A small change in cause can lead to a different result. The path may begin with one honest observation. A monk walked quietly through Rajagaha. A seeker noticed his peace. A question was asked at the proper time. A new monk admitted the limits of his knowledge. A short verse revealed cause and cessation. And a mind that had searched for years finally saw where to walk. May the truthful words you need reach your heart clearly. May you see the causes that keep suffering alive without blaming yourself. May you gently release what no longer needs to be fed. And may the peace born from that understanding become a quiet light for others.